Hello, everybody. Thank you for being on here tonight. Welcome to Ask Dr. Zaino Live. We're here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. answering your questions, and it has been awesome. The last 5 episodes, I guess this is the 5th episode. The last 4 episodes have just been off the hook. We keep getting more popular and more popular, and we appreciate all the feedback, all the views that we're getting on the videos. And I just want to remind everybody that below this video, if you're watching from chirothoughtleaders.com/ask-dr-zano, that's our live streaming website page there. If you're watching underneath that video, I want you to like it, G+ it, tweet it, share it, pin it, all of that good stuff. Make sure that all of our colleagues can get a chance to be on here with you as well. Right below that, you'll see the live chat from Chatroll, and we've already got some people that are posting their questions in there. We really do appreciate your participation. Usually if you have a question, so does everybody else, and answering your question will definitely benefit the rest of us. So below that, I want to emphasize that it's not too late to get your Chiro Thought Leaders seminar tickets. That's going to be February 26th and 27th. We're getting set up, we're getting ready, and I'm getting excited. It is going to be awesome. Thank you all for those of you who have already got your tickets and you've planned your trips. We're going to have a blast. So if you haven't got that, make sure you get it tonight. That way you can book it, you can get the hotel booked, and you can make plans to be there. All right, so we look forward to that. And I guess that's all the announcements I have. Dr. Zaino, how are you doing?
Good. What's going on, Dr. T?
Hey,
good. We had a good week. Dr. Tim and I, we filmed some good stuff that will be coming out to you shortly or within the year. So that was fun. We got the seminar coming up, which is really exciting. And it's getting down. I think we got like what 17 or 16 more spots to fill up that room. So that's good. That's right. We'll hit it right on the target. That's right. And I spoke to Garrett today. It's going to be good. We're going to have a really, really good stuff. I mean, it's going to be different than anything. This is stuff we're going to be doing. It's stuff that, these big mindset kind of companies hire speakers to come in and speak. Well, this is kind of the way it's going to be. When like Dr. Fred went to that $25,000 club 25 grand ago, and just in a room with these powerful speakers. And so it's taking chiropractic and mindset and practice and just the way we think to a new level. So I'm totally excited for it. Yeah, it'll be good.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be awesome. And I'm glad you said that. I forgot to reiterate that we have, let's see, it's 83. We have 17 seats available. If we haven't sold more tickets already since this afternoon. So. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll get started with Fernando's question. He says, "Hey, Dr. Z, at every dinner talk, I have people tell me that they've never fully understood the principle as I've taught it, and that it was the most informative talk they've ever been to. They all tell me that they're going to book an appointment, but I end up hearing from less than 10% of them, though I'm talking confidently when I tell my prices, etc. I'm obviously missing something in the talk. Any suggestions? This is a pattern that has been happening for over a year now. Thanks, Dr. Tabor and Dr. Z."
Well, great job, Fernando. Well, first of all, I just want to commend you on the fact that you are shifting and thought leading people. The fact that they're getting it. It's something that, they really got the principle for the first time. I'm thinking that you're not charging at the dinner. And really, people do have good intentions, guys. I want you to understand, 10 years ago when I first practiced, I remember I was at a vitamin shop when we first opened. And I said, and we didn't open yet. We were going to open, I think we had 3 weeks till we were going to open. And I was setting up appointments for 3 weeks later, and people showed up 3 weeks later. And there was really, my wife confirmed once. So do you understand, 10 years ago, you make an appointment, and they didn't even pay for the appointment. How about that? So they didn't pay. Yeah, I'm coming in. When's the appointment? You could pay at the appointment, and they showed up. When I first started doing dinners, I would just do the same thing. It's $40, just come in, and we started noticing, they would show up. And then probably 2-3 years ago, it was, "Hey, Dr. Z, we got 50 appointments, great." And then the show rate started getting shorter and shorter, even though it was over the next 2 or 3 days. Then I realized, okay, something's shifting. And then, you look at, in the last 10 years, social media, all these distractions have happened, and people really truly have good intentions, but they just let the distractions of life just get over. They don't have to be confrontational anymore, right? Everything's text. It's no people to people. So I realized there was a shift in the atmosphere where we had to charge. So at least when they charge, they put some skin in the game. So we started charging 40. So I really think when you start to charge, they have great intention. They'll pay with great intention. And then, you know, you want to get them in within the next 2 days. So if you do your dinner, whenever it is, those next 2 days, you want to make sure they come in and pay. Have them pay 20, have them pay 40. Have them pay, you know, we have them pay 150. And I tried both. I tried back and forth, 40 and 150. I'm always experimenting. But I really think if you pay, then there you go. And I'm sure if they get it, you're a good enough closer for $40 at least for them to be able to come in and do it. So there has to be an exchange. What do you think, Dr. T?
Yeah, no, I certainly agree, especially for if you're having trouble with them showing up at your office. I would add that, you know, if it's a little bit different problem, like maybe they're not scheduling at the dinner, maybe you do have a lot of guests, they're telling you thank you and all this stuff. Just for me, I've noticed that like when I've given them this talk enough that I know when I'm more passionate, more people in my audience show up, and I have higher show rates to my office when I give the talk. And when I give the talk on like a lower energy level, I don't have as many people sign up from the audience, and I don't have as many people come to the audience. And I mean, I literally could write it down and be like, that was a passionate talk that I gave, and I could show you a higher percentage rate, like on every dinner that I do. It's kind of weird.
Well, yeah, but even when you're passionate, you know, they want to get in, and there has to be a schedule. They got to be scheduled, and they got to pay. Because good intentions are not as good long standing. So I just get them to pay, and that'll all go away. I promise.
Yeah, no, it's like that. And not only in dinners and your screenings and everything nowadays, like you said, you got to accept payment there, and that way they have a little bit of skin in the game. So, all right.
Great question.
Great question. Yep. This is maybe a little bit easy of a question here. What system or company do you use for your auto debit for your patient monthly payments?
Right. So Fortis is a really good one. Fortis, Fortis. I'll let them know the Chiron Thought Leader sent you. That's great. If you do have Genesis or Billing Precision, it's the same thing. They automatically sync to your software, or you know, their online software that we use. They're really good. Cash Practice is also another good one. I would definitely check them both out and see the different rates and go from there. But it's really good. So we use those, yes, for credit card. They're our credit card vendors, so to speak, and then our automatic monthly. It's really easy to change it if you have to change a payment, hold a payment. It's really great. And I mean that's probably one of the more flawless areas of the office is those companies. So I would definitely check them both out. Fortis will be at the Chiron Thought Leader Seminar, so if you're there, definitely talk to them. And we're extremely happy with how that goes. It makes it easy, really easy for you guys.
Absolutely. I echo that. Okay, so Sarah, she says, I've done patient appreciation dinners in preparation to build into a community dinner with a doc. I marketed for my first dinner with the doc beginning of February and had one RSVP with no guest. Ouch. I had excitement about the event from patients, but no one following through to be there. I'm sure you have no question of attendance now, but how did you lock in your RSVPs when you were starting?
All right, Sarah. So what I would do, Sarah, is I would combine them. I wouldn't have a patient one and a community one. I would make it a community one, get a flyer, and flyer, email, play a video. You're inviting your patients to this, but their ticket in is they need to bring a guest. And this way you can get your patients refocused, and your patients are now responsible for bringing a guest to the dinner. Then also when we first started, I had drop boxes everywhere. And it was a numbers game. You know, you get 100 names out of 30 drop boxes, and hopefully, you know, when Carla invited them, and there's a very specific way we invite them. If you have the dynamic dinner, it's all there for you. I mean, those show rates really were really awesome. So we had the drop boxes in the bidding to get the momentum. So you're just starting to get this thing going. Then at the dinner, we have those lifelines where now every dinner we're getting hundreds of leads to be able to for the next one. But I would say for that first one, invite the entire office, but their ticket in has to be bring a guest, and you will have show ups. Absolutely. And you know what? We have 4 pages of people saying they're coming, and half show up. So don't let that bug you at all. You know, we'll have, don't even tell me how many people are on your sheet. You know, Carl, how are you? Oh, Dr. Zaino, I got 5 sheets. That doesn't mean anything to me. It's when I turn the corner, who's there. So, but you cannot control people at that, right? So I would definitely, this is a rule of thumb. Get at least 100 people in your calls to say yes, and you're gonna have you'll have a great dinner. That's your goal. 100 yeses, and you'll have anywhere from 15 to 75 people. So and it'll be good. It'll be worth it. So definitely shoot for the 100. Everybody on here, make sure you get at least 100 yeses of yes, I'm coming to dinner and I'm bringing 3 guests. So 100 yeses, you'll have no problem. Just like people like, so how do I get this going in my office, or how to build volume? The answer is volume. Just get 100 yeses and you'll be fine.
Right. I agree. I would say push it hard right up to the day of the dinner also. I mean, we have to put in I can tell the energy that we put into it, you know, will correlate with how many people are at the dinner. And I've done it for one person. I actually did it for one time, you know, it was when I was first starting out, but I had a wife was already a patient. She brought her husband. Those were the only 2 at the dinner, and I just did it anyway. And the husband signed up, so it was worth it. And just don't stop, don't quit, because they'll get better and better. I promise.
Yeah, we used to do lunch runs, you know, at this little breakfast place, and yeah, we had 3 people show up, and you know, I just sat at the table and did it. You know, you change it a little bit, but you know, and see, since then we developed and we figured out what the heck we were doing to not have to have the problem. I think our last dinner we had 55, which is great. And at 55 we had so out of 55 it was a mixture of patients and guests. We had 16 pay the 150 to come in for the appointment. I'm sorry, no, it was 40 at that time. I'm trying something new on. So they 15 pay 40 to come in. That's fine with me. And you know, probably half of those people sign up. You know, there's a trickle down effect. So it is what it is. You know, you can't beat yourself up if one shows, but if one shows, it's clearly there. You know, if you follow that dynamic dinner, chances are it's impossible for one to show up. You know, so maybe go over it again. If you don't have it, you need to invest into it and get it, so you don't have to have those things. But if you follow this little advice we said, and with Fernando, we were saying that make sure they pay at the event so they come in, you'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Zaino's your dynamic dinner program works awesome. I mean, we have docs that email us and tell us that all the time, but even in my own personal office, when we started using your procedures, everything just started working better. I want to take a question from someone who emailed this in because they couldn't be on the live show due to their time zone difference. I think it was like 2 a.m. in the morning where he was, but so there's 2 questions, but we'll start with this one. What does your lifetime maintenance monthly payment option sheet look like? The one you actually show the patient.
Yeah, it's a sheet, and it just tells them, you know, you're going to get, you know, 1 time a week or whatever that plan is. Let's say you can get 52 visits, right? That would be 1 time a week. And they'll say times this amount of money, and they're doing rehab, it's $150. And then there's a signature that they sign. So they sign it there, and then they sign the auto withdrawal, and they're good to go. So it's very basic. It's not the magic is not in my paperwork, you know, my policies. The magic is you just do it, you know, whatever you would say. So however you would present 1 time a week plan, $150 a month, have them sign it with rehab, without rehab. So it's, you know, like Dr. Fred, it's the small things, it's the big picture, not the small things. It's very simple. Just like, that's pretty much it. There's nothing magical about it.
Right. And I'll just say that, you know, we used that form pretty much like, you know, I think we got it from your Masterpiece program. So if you want, you know, all of those forms, you can go to masterpieceReport.com, and in that program, you should get the financial forms.
Yeah, we have all the forms in there.
Yeah.
So, but I don't have it. I'm at home. I don't have my paperwork here, but it's like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. Yeah. It's simple. Okay, so this one was asked, the similar question was asked twice, but so it says, thanks so much for doing your Wednesday night calls. It appears to me that you both have cash practices only and that you do not accept any insurance. If so, how are you guys attracting massive amounts of new patients to come in and pay out of pocket for their care? Do you give them super bills? Do you submit? And if so, at what fee are the prepaid plan? And he goes on, it's a long question, but it basically goes on to say that a lot of his patients, they want to use their insurance, especially if they only have to pay $20 to $40 for a copay. How do you address that? And how do you attract the patients that you do with the cash practice?
Well, I attract everybody that's in my office has insurance, but they choose to pay out of pocket. So I just build value. And again, and I'm not, this is just, it's not a shameless plug, but the Masterpiece Report, we made the dynamic dinner and we made the Masterpiece Report of finance for you guys at a very affordable rate. So this doesn't happen to you. So this is a failure to build value. They don't believe your care is worth out of pocket. They're telling you that if my insurance doesn't pay for it, I'm not doing it. Like to them, $20 is all your care is worth. So the thing is, it really goes back to you not building value. So whether my care plan, so when we have a family of 4 come in and they pay $12,000 or $13,000, out of pocket, we give them a super bill. Sure, we give them super bills, but when someone says, does my insurance pay for it? It's like, it doesn't, what they do, it doesn't matter. Our fee is our fee. Like, so whether your insurance is going to pay for it or not, you still have to pay me this money. So your care is not dependent, or me accepting you as a patient is not dependent on whether your insurance takes it or not. It's you pay out of pocket. And if your insurance wants to reimburse you, because they could submit it and do all that work, if they wanted, so you take it up with them. But I mean, my fee is my fee. It's not going to change. So really, it all comes down to value building. And then, I don't attract people who want to pay cash. We build the value of chiropractic and future long-term care. And then from there, they see it's worth it, and then they pay out of pocket. So there's no quick statistic to bash insurance, but it's just like, it's about people taking personal responsibility, but it truly is building value. I mean, I didn't spend over, Roberto, $20,000 over years to perfect my dinner and perfect the doctor's report of the Masterpiece, and to perfect the little, every time we meet, all the points of touch in the office and verbology in the office. I didn't do that just to waste money. I did that to build value and to make sure that all of that stuff stops. And so it's definitely building value. That's how you get people to pay out of pocket. That's the only reason they do.
That's exactly right. Good answer. And I never was in network, but we were out of network when I first started. We accepted out of network insurance. And when we switched over to all cash and just super bills, I thought it was going to be hard, but I really noticed no change. I noticed nothing different while we did that. So, awesome. All right. So Chad, he asks us a question. He says, if you have a new patient show for day 2 without a spouse, do you go over the findings and finances or have them reschedule? I'm always trying to have the spouse present, but it doesn't always happen.
Sure, Chad. And it doesn't always happen with us either. So we go through the Masterpiece Report of findings with them, and then we bring them back and we show her or him their complete findings. We ask them the questions, and then you ask them this. And so instead of saying, okay, Whitney or Victoria or Carlo Bien go over the finances, we just go to this. So you see why, if it was my wife, Whitney, so do you see why Chris needed to be here? So, because do you understand that he does not understand what's going on here, and now you do. And so now we can't really go further with you or take care of you unless he's here to see your results so you can make that decision on your own. And there you go. So then her job is now to get me back to the next the Masterpiece Report, which would be, if it was a Tuesday night, it would be a Thursday, or just get me back to the next one. So we will not go forward with her care, and we will not show the finances unless that spouse comes back to a report of findings, another one, not a special one, not one, a 15-minute one on the side. It has to be the full thing, and then we'll go from there. But at that time, that spouse is willing. Well, it is. So if it was my wife and she went to the report and she understood and she saw what's going on, remember Dr. Fred was saying the other week, I'm at home thinking she's just there for back pain or neck pain. She sees that there's a disease process going on. a pathological disease process. I don't know that. So she could come home and show me a $4,000 or $5,000 care plan, and I don't have value in it. So I'm going to be like, no way. So here I made the ignorant. I'm the ignorant one who makes the decision of whether she lives or dies or gets well or not. So she understands, and I'm the one who's stopping her. So it never works. So we even tried a long time ago where, let's say the spouse comes in, I would come in for that 15-minute quick one, but 15 minutes, all they'll get is an x-ray should look like this and it looks like that. Okay, so it's off a little bit, but I don't understand the principle or the mission. So we said, listen, you don't bring your spouse. Already they failed the interview process. So in our office and in your office, it should be an interview process. Okay, well, this person did not do, right? They showed up without the spouse, so they really failed the interview. So we'll let them go. We'll show them their findings. And then from there, we need, do you understand why? Yes. Do you want to correct? Yes. Do you understand why your spouse needs to be here? Yes. So you need to get him or her or whatever to the next report of findings. So they would schedule for that. And you know what? Most of the time, the husband's there and they show up. And if they don't show up, it's the same as if we handed them a care plan. And so it was at least it's totally up to them whether they want to get well or not. So we show them the findings, but they have to bring their spouse back to the next masterpiece report of findings in order to go forward or get well.
Right on. Awesome. Good question. So Sarah, she asked another good question here. She says, and it's pertaining to one of the questions we've already answered. How do you keep the conversation on the value of chiropractic if a patient is first concerned about money, pricing, and insurance, etc., to build that value before discussing money?
Well, it's all done in the masterpiece report of findings. So that's why we have the report of findings. So day one, or the dinner, if they went to the dinner, because their health's their greatest asset. So you cannot tell me an excuse that's going to overweigh your health. So excuses, to me, I tell people, excuses are you lying to yourself. I go, because you could see your problem and you could walk out of here saying you don't have the time or the money, but when you walk out of here, who you ultimately hurting? Themselves. Right. Yeah. And I go, if money is a concern, then let's look at this. Well, the number one cause of debt today is sickness. The number one cause of bankruptcy today is medical bills. So if you were concerned with money, then that's exactly the reason why you find the money, you get out a credit card, you sell things, take care of your health now. Because if your health's bad now and everything you've done up to this point has got you here, how is continuing to neglect this problem because you don't have the money or can't find it, even though you're spending money on everything else, how is that going to make your problem better? How do you want to spend your money? Do you want to spend it in nursing homes and hospital bills and be in debt for that? Or do you want to invest in yourself and then be able to get well? So which one? So it's very, it's money is not an excuse at all, because if they had cancer, they would find the money. If I put a gun to their head and said, you need to find me $1 million tomorrow, otherwise I'll kill you and your family, they'd find the money. So people find the money. They just need to have enough value in it. And that's what it is. So, the whole report of findings builds the value. They really see not only, how important it is, not now, there's urgency built in there. They see it's just like the nail in the tire. It's always the nail in the tire. When you see a nail in the tire, no one wants to freaking buy another tire. But what happens when someone gets a nail in the tire? They don't say, okay, well, I'll think about it, or I'll go home and think about it, or, maybe I'll do it next month. Literally right then, no matter if they have work, no matter if they have to pick up their kid from school, if they see they have a nail in their tire, they immediately go where? To the tire place. So whatever they were doing in their schedule, they stop, they immediately go to the tire place. They take out the $300 to pay for a new tire. And you know what? Sometimes a tire place, you got to wait 3, 4, 5 hours and sit there because you got a nail in your tire. But you know what? Everything stops. So they found the time, they found the money, they did what it takes, they canceled work, they canceled the kid's soccer game, whatever needs to be done because of this nail in their tire. Well, the same things with health. When we showed them the subluxation, that's not a nail in the tire, that's a nail in their coffin. And so just like it would be ridiculous to say, well, I'm going to go home and think about this. Or does my car insurance pay for this tire? No, they don't give a shit if their car insurance. Like, I got a nail in my tire. I can't wait for my insurance company to make a decision. I got to take care of this now. So it's the same thing. Well, that's the way I think of it. It's the same thing. There's no excuse in that. And then we're talking just about a nail in a tire. Because they know if that tire blows, I could be stuck, I could be stranded, it's going to cost me more money, I could get in a car accident, my life could be harmed. So they're able to future face and see that this problem, every time I neglect this problem, every minute I neglect this problem, it potentially, and it will 100% will get worse. It will cause a much bigger problem down the road. So it's the same thing with their health. No difference.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
absolutely.
That's good
You know,
analogy.
and I'll also just like, sometimes we think we're making those patients sit through that report, but really you doing that report and giving them that information in your time, that's an extreme value right there. It's like value-based marketing. I went to, Jeff Walker's product launch formula. I mean, a lot of the marketing that people are doing nowadays is they're giving huge amounts of information and value so that people, so not only are they building value for their product, but people are actually learning how to correct the problem that they have. And so when they see that, yes, you're, not only competent to correct their problem, but there's really no other option, that's when they're right there on the edge and they're able to make that decision. And going back to where we were talking about the price, whether it's a $20 copay or they'll pay thousands of dollars for a care plan, it's because you took the time to sit down and explain to them the power of chiropractic and how it can change their life and benefit their life. And Dr. Zaino does an amazing job in his report, for those of you who've seen the Masterpiece program, in, showing the future and the big picture of where they could be, not only hammering some of the negative objections that they have, but also, building that future and helping them to achieve that. And you're just going to have less people that, argue with you when you are able to show them that through your report. So,
and you're doing that for them. I mean, the report of findings is for them. Like, no one does me a favor by becoming a patient. We are there for them because it's not our problem. We don't have the problems they have. So, we're there doing it for them. And true informed consent, I would definitely say that out of any doctors, if we're doing a Masterpiece report, we're giving them, no other doctor gives them the amount of information we can for them to really make a decision. It's like, here, take this drug. But they don't say, well, here, take this drug, but let's talk about what bads can go wrong. They never talk about the bad. And so it's like, if they would imagine if a doctor sat down and say, hey, listen, I'm going to put you on a blood pressure drug and a cholesterol drug. And first, let me sit down and show you a presentation on all the things that can go bad, just so you know. And but here's the things that could go good, but here's the things that could go bad. No one would take the drug because, the more educated a person is on that drug, the less they're going to take the drug. So just here, you got to take this drug. And if you don't take it, you could have a heart attack. And that's what they tell them. The doctors go right to, your kid could die, or you'll have a heart attack, or do this. And, they go right to, if you don't do this, you'll die. So people make irrational, okay, I don't want to do that. And they just listen to them. But if they sat down and any medical doctor educated them on the true informed consent is knowing the positives, the pros, the cons, and the other options.
Yeah.
Right? That's true informed consent. There's informed consent today is sign your name so my ass is cleared. That's not informed. Informed consent is, here's the pros, here's the cons, and here's all the other options you could do. So that means you're fully informed of all the measures you could take to correct this problem. So they'll never do that. A medical doctor can't, because no one would go to a medical doctor. But when we choose a report, and that's what we do, we show, here's the pros, here's the cons, here's all the things you could do, here's all the treatments you could do. But if I treated your spine with ice, heat, rubbed it, stretched it, ART'd it, Groston it, give you a steroid shot or a Vicodin, is it going to correct your spine? And they're like, no. So we separate. We're different than everybody else. We don't treat spines. We correct the cause, and no one could adjust the spine but us. So you show, here's all the other things you could do, and yes, they're nice. Nutrition is good, and we'll teach you the best nutrition. We'll teach you all that good stuff, and if you want to get a massage, that's awesome. But that's not going to correct this problem.
Right.
So that's where you eliminate all options when it comes to correcting the spine.
Right on. Good point. All right. So Dr. Kelly says, what's the average correction on your re-X-ray or post-X-ray?
It all determines how committed and how committed that person is to doing what we tell them to do. So it's not that X-ray is just showing how they did, not how we did. So that could be beautiful correction, great correction, no correction, the worst. It's all dependent on that person. Do they make the adjustments? Do they do the stuff we tell them to do at home? So when someone, just like someone the other day says, well, what's your guarantee on this? I'm like, what's your guarantee to me? Are you guaranteed gonna make it all your adjustments, doing everything I tell you to do when I don't know what you're doing at home? You're gonna make if you do everything I tell you to do, then you'll get the best correction. And we know that we always know that people who get the best correction do exactly what they're supposed to do. So that question is solely based on an individual person, whether they're doing what you tell them to do or not. And then I go to you. Do you do what you tell them to do? So if you're a doctor and you tell them to do rehab at home and you're not doing it, or you tell them to get adjusted and you're not getting adjusted, then there's almost that fourth dimensional thing where, you know, your patients are going to be as committed as you are. So you are the example. So make sure you're doing your adjustments, you're doing your rehab, you're eating a certain way if you do that, all those things. So you want to be the example. So, you know, they could say, well, doc's doing it, so I could do it. So they hold you accountable. But definitely, that was a great question, because you will hear that and then you put it right back on them. Be like, you know what? It all depends on what you do. What are you going to guarantee me? It's all on them. It's, remember, the whole thing is it's all on them. You know, we're not taking responsibility over their health. They are. So that's a great question though. So that's the answer. It's all dependent on how much the person puts in.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like, for instance, it's like, you go to the gym, I see the same people, 3 years, they look exactly the same, because, you know, they might go to the gym, but when they go home, they eat a bunch of crap, or they, you know, just nothing changed in their life. Or you hear they're on medications and stuff like that. So it's ridiculous because they're selectively, like, perfect example. When you give your requirements, you got to let them know this is not selective. Like, you cannot do selective things. Like, oh, I'll do the adjustment, but I'm going to skip this part, and I'll do a little bit of this. It's like, this is not like, okay, this is not like an a la carte pick and choose. This is the program, and I'm going to coach you. You need to do this stuff, and you'll get the results you want them. So will people get results not doing everything? Sure. You know, people get results not doing their stuff at home or not coming in the times they should, but they just get lucky. But just imagine the results they could have got if they were doing everything they were supposed to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I'll say too, even the corrective care technique, you know, gurus like your chiropractic biophysics or your Clear or your Pedibond, they'll even tell you that your results are going to vary, I mean, based on age, based on whether there was arthritis there before or after. That, you know, even if they did everything that you said, someone who had a negative 10-degree curve with crazy arthritis is going to see amazing results with 1 or 2 degree improvement, whereas a 16-year-old girl that already had a 20-degree curve, she's going to see amazing results, and you may see, you know, more improvement. So it's really all over the place, and it's really up to them on whether they get adjusted and they stick to your program or not.
Yeah, it's all up to them. Period.
Awesome. Let's see. When a patient begins, how do you let them know not to discuss symptoms and focus on the purpose of the adjustment? I think he means when they're getting adjusted.
Sure, right on it. Well, a couple times when you go on the table and they're sitting up on your table, then you know they got to say something. So say, hey doc, my lower back's hurting me, or it hurts right here, and then you address it. You don't go, well, you know, you say, okay, listen, go where? Right here. And so I touch the spot. They're like, yeah, right there. I'm like, I go, so you know that I know where the problem is, right? I'm like, they're like, okay, go face down. I go, well, I'm going to find the subluxation. I'm going to remove the subluxation so your body has full function to heal that area. Because I go, I don't know why that's there. I don't know what's causing that. You know, it could be a bunch of things. So, but I do know that if there's a subluxation, remove that, then your body could heal. So the easy way to get off the symptom is if they point, acknowledge it. You know, they don't want to be you can't just, I saw someone just totally like almost, they're like, we don't talk about symptoms here. No, you got to be emotionally intelligent. Be like, where's it hurt? Right here? And they're like, oh yeah, that's the spot. I go, and I squeeze. I'm like, so this is that. I go, so you know that I know where your problem is, right? Or what you talked about. Yeah, right there. So I go, so now I'm going to adjust your spine. I go, because we really don't know why that's there. The only reason why I say there's something going on, I'm going to remove the subluxation and then let your body heal. All right. Okay, that's it. So I go, that could be better in an hour. It could be better in a year. So I'll adjust your spine. Or say, doc, my knee hurts. Great, I'll adjust your spine. You know, so I just go right to that. And so it's all about removing interference so they could heal. Because we really, I mean, honestly, I'm being totally truthful. I don't know why the hell that's that. Like, hey, doc, it hurts here today. Why? I have no clue. I go, I'm not around you. I don't know what you do all day. I go, but I'm going to remove the interference and let your body heal. That's it. And so it just, be honest. Like, I mean, how many tomorrow to go in and be honest? Because a lot of you, because I used to be, you're full of shit when you answer some questions. You're like, you try to like get all scientific. Like, How about being honest? Be like, doc, I woke up the other day and it hurts right here. Why? Well, that could be a subluxation. No, you don't know. We don't know. We don't know. So I don't know is one of the most liberating things. You can have to be like, I don't know. Hey, it's life, but I'll adjust you. Remove the interference, allows you to make sure the body's function healing at its optimal maximum potential. And, we'll go from there. That's what it is. Like it could strain you. Who knows? It could be just like any diet. It could be 100 million different things. And I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not going to diagnose or label that person. I say I don't know a lot. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's right here. Well, I'll remove the interference. I'll adjust your spine. So it all takes 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So really, like, free yourself up, and it's okay. I don't know. You don't have to have an answer for everything, because most of the answers you're really guessing. You're just giving it. And so it sucks walking around guessing all day. So answer the things you know. That's sticking to chiropractic. And the things you don't know, tell me you don't know. I don't know. If you think I'm low on calcium, I don't know. Like Reggie Gold used to be like, if you listen to any Reggie Gold stuff, you always just say, well, how the hell am I supposed to know? I don't know. He's like, I don't know what your body requires. Your body's the only one that knows what you need. All I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the interference so your body can do exactly what it was supposed to do at the right time for the right reason. So liberate yourself. Tell them, hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
But acknowledge it though, please. Say, those are right here. Oh yeah, it's right there. So okay, so that I know where it's at, right? Okay, so go face down. I'll just spine. We'll go from there. Let your body heal.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And I have to work on that. I talk too much. That's just my personality. I want to ask everybody how they're doing, how their day was. And then I feel bad for talking too much, because that patient deserves my focus on the adjustment. Can you imagine if a medical doctor was doing minor surgery on you and asking you about the weather? You'd be like, I don't care about the weather. Get focus on what you're doing here. And that's what every patient deserves when we adjust them. And I know you were talking about before the adjustment or after, but anyway, I'm on right now, making myself focus, quiet, and really paying attention to a highly specific adjustment when I'm giving them now. So.
Yeah, it's not being rude either. I mean, because it's in a loving way. Like, if I don't know, I don't know. So
sure.
But
no, absolutely.
I do know you have subluxations, and I'm going to adjust them.
And you're going to heal.
And you're going to heal.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
When they just go, okay, and they go face down. I'm just like, but I definitely acknowledge it. Don't say, well, just definitely please acknowledge it, because they want to. Number one, you acknowledge it, you touch it, you show them, you acknowledge it. You listen. They feel totally listened to in 3 seconds. So, awesome. But they said, yeah, I think 10 years ago. I'm like, listen, we don't know what's going. We could speculate. Let me adjust your spine. Let me remove the interference, and so your body could finally heal. Sometimes you got to cut them off.
I agree. All right. Well, that's a good way. That's a good time to cut it off here. And we appreciate everybody and all your questions.
That's great. They get better each week.
They do. Yeah. Awesome questions. In fact, Fernando just came back. He says he just got back from a dinner talk, and that he appreciates us asking his question, answering his questions before. He says, just to be clear, it was more that they will schedule and then they never end up showing up or end up doing it. So just like you said, was making sure that you accept the money while you're there. So.
Yeah. Schedule them right there and take their payment with the square or something, the thing you do on the phone. And that's it. Because then there's commitment. And you know what? That's still not 100% guaranteed they'll show.
Right.
So, I mean, and that's why I went up to 150 versus 40, because I started seeing that people were willing to be like, screw the $40. I was like, wow. They're really, I started people bailing on 40. I'm like, good. So we'll have to get more skin in the game. So 100, 150, yep. we did that. And it was good. I mean, those people, because what I don't like is at the end of the month, when we have a stack of folders have never been to DR, they mean that these people came in, they scheduled for a DR, and they just never went through the process. So it's like the docs used to have like a stack. I'm like, this represents x-rays and care plans made in hours of drawing the x-rays and all the time we put into that. So that's hours, right? And so I go, well, if we took those away, it opens up more hours of productivity. So that's why when I raise the price, the number one, the 150 for me commits. I'm qualifying for finances. I'm qualifying for commitment, because they're serious about it, and more of those people get through the process. And if they're paying 150, the care plan doesn't seem as much as someone who paid 40, like free. So imagine, you go from free to $3,800.
Right.
You know, you go from 40 to $3,800. You go from 150. So it kind of closes the gap a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as much as of a leap because, I mean, you know, when we have our birthday parties and everything's free and you have like 60 people that come in and, you know, it goes from, hey, you know, you got your face got painted by a clown. You went on a bounce house. You had a euro and some baklava, and now we're going to do your x-ray. And next tomorrow it's, you know, you got a subluxation, it's $4,000. So, you know, it's, you know, you want to get, I just think paying like that for that first appointment really it helps build the value. Like I believe Dr.
Yep.
Sarah was talking about. I really thinking that even everybody, I would definitely, why don't you try this and it'll work. Raise your day one price.
Yeah.
To $100, $150, and just see how you do. Just do it for a month.
Right.
And all it's going to do is it's going to it might not be as many, but in reality, like it's more because you could have 50 people who come in unqualified, or you could have 20 that come in qualified, and I mean everything works out great. So it really don't let the number, you know, mess with your head. So it's just like, so you know, I think they'll build more value. They figure, hey, I put $150, $100 into this. I'm going to come back to see my results. I never understood how someone would get testing done and not come back to see the results. It drives me crazy.
I know.
Like I was like, because I would love to see my results. Like anytime I do any test, I want to see the results. I love it because I just want to see what's going on. So how could someone totally like not want to do it, you know, or not see the results? So I feel that if it's like $100 or a little bit more, or even 80, let's say, like they're going to come back, you know. So make sure that it's at a price range where they're starting to value it, you know. That's why I never really did the day two adjustment, because they said to build value of the adjustment, used to do the day one, then the day two, they used to come and get adjusted, and the adjustment you would charge like $60, $80. But in my head, they're like, shit, you know. I mean, my friend comes 3 times a week. That's $180 a week, you know. So automatically they go over here, and they don't understand what the adjustment was or the doctor's report yet. So I was like, that's why I went from day one right to the report of findings. Then I could build the value from that, and then from there. So
right on.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
All right, I could talk with you guys for an hour, but it's time to play with the little guys. My kids go to bed late, so that's why you know, we'll be up for another 2 hours, but it's time to play with them. So guys, please, if you haven't made it to the seminar, make it to the seminar. You know, it's going to be next week, especially if you live in Texas. 2, share this with other people. You know, this is great stuff. Just think how many people you could help by answering your questions. 3, really ask some tough questions. I mean, really, this is like a live forum question. No question is unanswered, and it doesn't just have to be chiropractic. It could be on anything. I mean, tell me your real problems going on. I know your real problem isn't what does my friggin' form look like for lifetime. You know, I mean, like, I know you guys got bigger stuff than that going on, and don't be embarrassed. And if you don't want to, like, you know, maybe Tabor, you could just not say their name in case, so you could put a real personal thing in there, you know, and say, hey, listen, I just opened up a practice. We've been working our asses off for 6 months, and my wife threatened to leave me. Or my wife works with me and our relationship is going downhill. And this is like, or my wife is a doctor as well, and we're both in the office working together, but she, you know, I have to be the office manager and she's the doctor, and I resent her. I mean, like there's some, I'm telling you, because when we do our Zaino experiences, I get to see the real dirty, nasty lowdown that's going on. That stuff is really the cause of a lot of your practice issues. It's kind of the subluxation layer. So once we free some of those major things in your own personal life, the practice becomes really a breeze after that. So don't be afraid of it. And I probably, Tabor and I will not, confidentiality. If it's a question that's a rough question, he won't even say, hey, someone asks. And then, you know, because I guarantee you have the problem. We all have that problem. It's once you waste your time. I use the marriage stuff because my wife worked in the office. We got pissed off. I mean, we would fight. I resented her for years. Like, I had issues with her because she would roll her eyes at me when we were working. Trust me. So I'm just saying one area. But any area you're dealing with, like I said, the deeper in the shit, the deeper you go, that's where the gold's at for everybody. Meaning that if you ask something that's major going on in your life, I guarantee everybody in this line is experiencing one way or another, including myself or Dr. Tabor. We might have been through it. And if we could help you in that area, the deep down root, then everything else will be so much better. So really, like,
Yep.
push the questions. It doesn't even have to be chiropractic related. If it's something going on with your life, just let us know, and we'll help you through it.
Well said. I'll just close by telling you, if you wanted to email some of those questions to chirothoughtleaders@gmail.com, you can do that as well. Thank you all for being here. Scroll down below, get your tickets, make sure you get your travel arrangements, and we'll see you in Houston. And we'll see you next week, Wednesday.
Yeah, see you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Right here. Bye.